Greetings. I hope you're well. Welcome to the Spirit Walker channel. It's good to have you guys back. I just wanted to discuss this week. Just wanted to discuss something that is really very important. It's related to of course, the Mandela effect, but it's deeper than that. It's how can we influence the Mandela effect, and also, what can we do to use the Mandela effect to take us to the place where we want to be, where humanity is free. Humanity has broken free from the entities that have enslaved us for so long, and we can do this. It's actually it's part of what we call ascension. Some people would quantum awakening. People that are inclined to Christian terminology would call that redemption, or even rapture. But this is all the same thing. It's all about freeing humanity from the entities that have enslaved humanity for eons, for so many thousands, or possibly even millions of years. Who are these entities? Well, we have the Illuminati cabal, which are usually they are the bad reptilian hybrids. These entities are controlled by the actual non-terrestrials, the reptilians and other groups that the Law of One calls the Orion group. And above that, there are the fifth density black magician entities that the reptilians worship. And they are very happy to keep humanity enslaved. They're very happy to keep you thinking that we live in a completely material world, that there is nothing out there. There's nothing spiritual. There is no mental energy fields. There are no astral fields. And because everything is pretty much a big mind control set. So you could have religion, and you could have also materialism. They're both mind control systems. So I just wanted to start this video with a bit of a disclaimer. We don't really know what the Mandela effect is. Some people think that the Mandela effect is an actual split in timelines, and I think that this theory has a lot of merit to it. Others, including my colleague, unbiased and on the fence, would say that we live in a mental reality, that the reality that we live in is completely created in some type of mental energy field, and therefore the Mandela effect are just discrepancies or breaks in the continuum of this mental energy field over time. Something like if you're hearing a song in an old long play record, that sometimes when you had a scratch in the record, sometimes the needle would jump from one groove to the next, and then you would all of a sudden you'd have this interruption in the song, and the song would restart as if nothing had happened. That theory has a lot of merit as well, and I think we have to take both into consideration. It's possible that because we don't know what the Mandela effect really is, we need to take everything into consideration. But what I wanted to discuss with you guys today is the power of the minds, the power of our minds. So whether the Mandela effect is a split in timelines, a split in the fourth dimensional grid of time and space, or space-time, as I have explained or discussed in some other videos. I don't know if that stuff is right or wrong, it's just my view, or whether the Mandela effect is really a glitch in a mental matrix. It doesn't really matter, because the power of our minds, the power of humanity's collective consciousness is driving the Mandela effect. And I think that this is very beautiful. It shows how powerful we all are. And how do we influence all this? And the answer is quite simple. First of all, meditate to get in touch with your higher self, with your spiritual guides, with your spiritual soul group, and also with the inner earth spiritual teachers who are already fourth density, and they're trying to help us, they're trying to guide us in this very critical process of ascension. So meditation is when you open yourself to that guidance, and that is absolutely critical. But also prayer. Prayer is when you state your intentions to the universe. And how do we pray? That is a very interesting question. There is a way to pray, and I just wanted to discuss this with you, because I'm not sure. I already have some information in my video, so if you could go back, have a look at time loops. How do we influence the timeline that we are in? There's already some information. I just wanted to revisit that and add some material. How do we pray? Well, the first thing that we think about prayer is basically wrong, although the idea about how we normally think of prayer is wrong. Let me give you an example. We usually think of prayer as a request. So we are asking for things. So you pray, God, please, if you're willing, heal me from that disease. I need to be healed from that disease. So I don't want to suffer anymore. Please heal me from that disease. Now, the problem with that is that is a request, and when you are making that request, you're actually putting a distance between you in your current space-time point where you are now, in your current space and your current time. You're putting a distance between that state and the future desirable state. So you're saying, in the future, I want to be healed. Now, that distance is a real distance. It's a mental distance. But because everything that is mental is real, you are creating a real distance, a real separation from the universe as it is now to how you would like the universe to be. So you're creating a mental state, and that mental state replicates the universe as it is now, which is not how you want the universe to be. You want the universe to be such that you are already healed. A more effective way to pray is, instead of putting this distance, instead of creating this distance between what you are, the state that you are now, and the state that you want to be, you maybe, my advice is, place yourself at that state where you want to be already. Make that state real in your mind. So, a very simple example. Instead of saying, please God, if you're willing, heal me. I'm sick now, but heal me. because I really would like in the future to be rid of this disease. Instead of doing that, because you're creating that distance, a more effective way to pray would be, thank you, Lord, because I am already healed. The disease, the disease has already gone away. The disease has already disappeared, and I am already free from that disease, and I am living already in a world or in a state where that disease is no longer. And be thankful, because when you are thankful, you activate anahata, which is your heart chakra, and that is a tremendous source of power. When you activate anahata, you're adding an emotional overtone to your prayer. You're not just saying mental, you're not just creating a mental picture, you're actually adding an emotional energy. It's like an emotional jet of energy that you are releasing with that prayer. So the prayer takes place in your mind, so that is mental energy. And when you are thankful, when you add gratitude to that prayer, you're adding also an astral, emotional energy discharge to that prayer. So you're creating thought forms. They are emotionally charged. And as a consequence, that thought form, that universe, that parallel universe, or that parallel state of the universe that you're creating in your mind, that is a mental creation, also has an emotional charge, an emotional undertone to it. So you are potentiating, you are enhancing the ability, enhancing the power of that thought form. And the more powerful that thought form is, the stronger will be its attraction towards the real, or quote unquote real physical universe. So you create in your head a universe in which you are already healed. You charge that universe with emotional energy and mental energy and astral energy. And that universe now is so charged with energy that it will slowly begin to attract the real universe, the physical universe, towards it. And that's what Jesus referred to when he said, look, if you knew how to pray, you would tell that mountain, go throw yourself in the sea, and that will happen. You know, I truly believe that that's what he meant. We have been told by the archons, we have been told by the reptilians, we have been told by the Illuminati that we are powerless. And this is because they fear us. They are scared shitless of us, if you pardon my French. They know the power that we have. They are fully aware of the power that we have, and they are trying to prevent us from discovering that power. They are scared stiff of humanity waking up to the power that we have. What power is that? It's the power to influence the universe using creation, using the power of creation. We can create universes with our mind and with our emotional energy, and they can't, because that's the choice that they have made. They have made the choice of separation, and they are screwed because of that choice, but it was a choice that was made using their free will. So that choice prevents them from having the same creative power that we have, and they are scared shitless of humanity realizing that we do have that power. And humanity is slowly waking up to that capability. We are shifting timelines, or we are shifting our reality towards a reality where the control system of the archons will be no longer, and the bad reptilians will starve. They will starve to death because that's the choice that they have made, and the good reptilians that want to be with us together in ascension into fourth density. These guys will grab hold of our hand, and we'll all ascend together into fourth density. Some people will go into fifth, some people will go into sixth. And this is happening right now. Now, when I just discussed, make your prayer, make your prayer, or remove the distance from your prayer. Don't pray for something in the future. Pray for something and create that image now in your head. That image already exists, and that world already exists. Then a lot of people out there will say, "Oh, this is just New Age garbage." Is it? Let me show you something. Let me. I'm going to for the more traditionalists out there. Let me show you something that is very, very interesting. If you think that what I'm saying here is uh, it's just New Age mumbo jumbo, it's created by the I don't know, the hippie revolution from the 60s, or the New Age movement that we had from the 80s. If you think that's the case, let me read you something that is really very interesting. It's going to make you change your mind. So if you could open your New Testament in Mark 11, verse 24, I would like you to read what is said there, and you're going to be surprised. Jesus is telling the disciples, therefore, and this is the New International Version, which is very similar to the New American Standard, and it actually tells Jesus is saying, therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Notice that Jesus is talking in the past tense. He's saying, believe that you have received it. He's not saying, believe that you will receive it somewhere at some point in the future. He's not saying that. He's saying, believe that you have received it, and it will be given, and it will be yours. This is exactly what we are talking about. So believe that you have received it, which is create in your head a parallel mental universe, and charge this mental construct with energy, because this mental construct will attract to it the real, or the so-called physical universe. That is how you pray. That is how you that's how you make things happen. Even the New Testament is telling us to do things. This is how we should be praying. Create a mental construct. Destroy this bridge between the universe as it is now and the universe as you want to be. Because when you pray like this, oh God, please give me health in the future, you are creating a mental construct in your head in which you don't have health. So the universe that you're creating with your mind is not the universe that you want. So you don't get healed. And it's not surprising that you don't get healed, because you're creating in your mind a universe in which you don't get healed. So that's how it works. And be thankful, because by being thankful, you're charging that thought form that you have just created with your mind with emotional energy. Now it's like having a big V8 and putting in the top quality gasoline that you could possibly have. The V8 is quite impressive. The big car, the big V8 is quite impressive. But if you charge it with low octane gasoline, it's going to have less an impact. It's not going to be very fast. But if you charge that V8 with the top petrol, you could even try to change the engine and put nitro in it. It's going to be a bullet. That's what being thankful does to your thought form. When you are thankful, you create a double whammy of power. You have a thought form that has mental energy, but also emotional energy. And that combination will pull the universe towards that state that you created, and it's going to be way more powerful. Now, we have been discussing in this channel and in quite a lot of other channels the unfortunate state of the unawakened masses. It's very unfortunate. Some people are completely mind controlled. The work that the archons have done in creating Hollywood, creating the financial system, creating busyness, so you need to be busy, is absolutely staggering, and it's something that is very, very effective. So some people are not in a condition to be awakened. So, for example, do you remember that bad guy in the movie The Matrix, Cypher, that he was awakened, he was plucked out of the Matrix, and then he actually regretted. He wanted to go back. That's the state that some people are in. Not everybody is prepared to be awakened. Now, you have all of these, let's say, unawakened masses, and what we have to be very careful is that they are making a choice with their free will, and we have the choice to inform them, but we can't really wake them up for them. We can't really, if we try to force them into a situation where they have to accept these realities, that will be a serious infringement of their own free will, and we will be incurring karma for that. So it's like what Niccolo Machiavelli said in The Prince. If you are a clever deceiver, you will always find people that are willing to be deceived. So the reality is that some people will not ascend. Actually, most of the population, maybe 70% or 80% of the population, will have to repeat third density. That's a reality. And because they have been completely ensnared by the mind control systems that the archons and the reptilians have created. What are they? That's religion. That's materialism. That's the financial system that creates slaves. So we're all slaves to debt. We're all slaves to the 9 to 5. We all think that if we stop and think, we are not pulling our weight. We're all slaves to what they teach us at university, and no wonder they don't teach these things at school and university, of course, because they don't want you to know them. And some people are very happy to stay that way. That's very unfortunate. But what I wanted to discuss here, just to close this video, is something that is very amazing of how prescient is the Bible, how much knowledge is in the New Testament. All of these things that we are discovering now, we're discovering recently, they have been given to us 2,000 years ago. So, for example, if you just look at Mark 13:36, remember that we are discussing today about the great mass of unawake people, the unawakened masses, and a lot of people get quite anxious as to, okay, how am I going to talk about the Mandela effect to my brother, my sister, my mom, my friends, etc. They think that I'm crazy, and all of these it feels like they want to remain unawakened. Well, it's their choice. It's their choice. Don't beat yourself up too much for that, because it's their choice. It's a genuine choice. Now, I just wanted to discuss here that even back 2,000 years ago, Jesus was already struggling with the same issue, the exact same issue. If you go to Mark 13:36, Jesus is talking about the day of the Lord. So in other words, Jesus is talking about ascension. So, and he is saying the day of the Lord, about the day of the Lord, and I'm using the New International Version. He's saying, be aware, watch, and that's Mark 13:36. If he comes suddenly, do not let him find you sleeping. That is remarkable. Jesus, already 2,000 years ago, Jesus was already talking about the great unawake masses. So, if he comes suddenly, do not let him find you sleeping. So, in other words, all of the folks that unfortunately have made the decision to be completely mind controlled by TV, the financial system, religion, materialism, the scientific dogmas, this is sleep. They are asleep. And Jesus was already warning us about this 2,000 years ago. So this is how deep, how much knowledge you have in the Bible. And this is how much knowledge, it took us 2,000 years to realize what Jesus was already saying. And I actually feel very happy that we are already, or we are living in the times. So these are the messages that I wanted to give you today. Remember how to pray. Remember that there is a way to pray, and remember that the problem of awakening people around you is not really your problem. Their inner self, their higher self, is already trying to talk to them, and if they are not listening, it's probably because they are not ready. And even Jesus 2,000 years ago was already talking about this issue. So it's not new. Please do not infringe on their free will, because that's a serious infringement. Let people be, respect their choice, create a universe in which society, the human society, is already governed by love and compassion. We will take with us the good reptilians, we will take with us the good aliens, or the good, whoever wants to come with us, and the negatives will become a sorry footnote in the history of humanity and in the history of the solar system and in the history of the galaxy. But that's their choice. They're probably going to starve. They're going to, live in eternal starvation. It's a very sad. I actually feel very sorry for them. They know how much power we have, and they are scared immensely of us awakening. And that awakening is already happening. They have lost the game already. They are absolutely terrified. And now the battle is joined. It's a battle in our mind. So create a good universe full of love, full of compassion in our hearts. We have already won this battle. Stay safe. God bless you. See you next time.